Green. All right. Cool. So there's a little Google Doc if you wanted to take a peek.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday.
Yeah, awesome. So what I figured I was going to do is just kind of go through some specific tasks that require random steps, and you can kind of see how I work, and then just ask questions, or we'll go from there.
Sounds good. I'll be quiet until I have a question, and then if there's anything you want to call out, feel free to call it out, but no pressure either way.
Cool. All right. So this first one, access requests, bane of my existence. All right. So I don't necessarily need to follow this directly because I have it mostly memorized, but where is it? So there's a section in here on how to do it properly. So switch to security. So I need, one of the other things I need, because this is going to be touching the config file, I need an appropriate issue in GitLab as well. Create a merge request. All right. So when you're security admin, you can see the account stuff. You can't see billing, which is interesting. Does that make sense? Cool. So user. Atwood. I use a website called Password Generator. I won't put this on the screen, obviously, but I make a temporary password and then send it to them, and then they have to change their password. So login name has to be their email, their GitLab email, because we can log in via Okta, so it has to match that. And I just do that. There we go. And then no defaults. So it's his new user account. They also get a role. The reason we do individual user roles as well is just for basically provisioning. If there's something that doesn't fit into a role that we need to grant specific access to, we can grant it to that specific user role, and that would be documented as well. So this has to be granted to him, and then he's going to be analyst core. Oh, his name. Boom, done. And cool. So that's basically done from the Snowflake side. So from here, I like using the Web IDE for small things like this because I don't have to do anything locally. So he gets and as a user. There we go. I also have to go into Okta. Sign applications. No. d@GitLab.com. Confirm assignments. There we go. All right, so got his user role. Got his user. And he's a member of both of these. Though, really, I should switch the order of that. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay, so he's in Snowflake. Looks good. Looks good. So happy with that. Merge that. And then I use one-time secret to send your credentials because I don't want to put them in one password or anything like that. So I'll take it off the screen in a second, don't worry. Password, and then I'll get add. And I'll finish this over here. And then I just DM their credentials. Boom. All right. So that's done. So I will cross-link that. And then unsign myself, unsubscribe. Comment. I have to edit this evidently. Oh no, I can just click yes. Right? Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's all done. I reload usually just to make sure everything's stuck, which it clearly didn't. I've already done Periscope. I don't know why I'm getting that error. All right, fuck it. Just do it live. Snowflake. Yes. Periscope. Okay, cool. So that one's done. All right. I'm actually going to skip the infrastructure. Well, nah, I'll do it. I don't know why I'd skip it. So this, yeah, so I'm done with this. Close this. And close Okta. Get this off the screen. All right, so new analyst infrastructure role. This one will be fun. I think I get to spin up Meltano and try and do this. All right. So we're going to make, I'm just going to make it a copy of analyst core for now, because basically everything yeah, let's just go with that for now. And then actually, I probably won't fully provision it, but I can show you what I would do just so we can get approvals and everything on this infrastructure. And just leave it at that. Okay, so now I'm actually going to let's do this over here. So I want to go to Meltano. So the permission bot runs in like a Meltano project. And it will read through whatever you've got configured. So what I've been doing is basically I have a small version of the schema because it can take a little while to run. So I have a small version of the schema, and I would just replace basically whatever role here that I'm actually interested in. So in this case, so I haven't actually provisioned. Oh, let's actually go ahead and do that. So I can go ahead and make this role and just not give it any grants, and it won't actually complain again. Infrastructure. Cool, that's done. All right, so I'm going to copy this. So I have this config small YAML definition. I need to, there's like certain weird quirks with this. I want to get it all automated. There's that, there's users. So I think if I just get rid of this and see what happens. Analyst to analyst, all those, that should work. So now if I come to the command line, go through my history, and
I do that same thing all the time, and I also feel a little bit ashamed when I do it. Just like, hey, I don't want to type this. I'm just gonna.
Yep. All right. All right, so I'm just running the command, and I'm just going to output it to, oh God, I have to, There we go. I need my virtual environment. And now I can. Okay, so now it's running. Oh, you know what? It's not going to let me run it in that directory. Yep. Let me get rid of some of these so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. So I need to be in GitLab. In there. There we go. So the current permission bot, it only runs in dry mode. It won't actually execute them. It'll give you a diff of the permissions that roll currently, like the things currently have versus what they don't. And find, so we can see, so it's loading the spec file, checking it for errors. It does a check that it all exists. And then it will actually like query the information schema to get everything. And I don't know how to make it reload while I'm viewing the thing in here. Where is it? Where are you? So we're still going. But we could see in Snowflake. So it uses this permission bot user, which maybe I shouldn't be doing locally. But yeah, so it does like show roles, show users, and then it just kind of parses through all that. And where are we at? Nice. So fetching granted privileges. Nice. Here we go. So these are all the grants that should be run based on the definitions that we've had. One of the updates I did was to do all tables and then future tables, and that's what, when it's defined like so. So when we do dot star on either the schema or the table, it just does the grant all, kind of like you would expect. So I'm going to leave this MR as it is and get approval. I think we probably should get approval for new roles. Okay, so I'm going to reassign to all right, we'll call that one done for now. Work in progress. All right. How are we doing on time? Great, less than 20 minutes. So let's move on to this upgrade. So 14.2 is a very minor release that has like two minor fixes. One, this DBT snapshot was hanging, and then this one I don't even care about. But I have an open issue for reinstating that job. Oh yeah, this is actually related. So we can actually do this simultaneously. So this job is shut off right now, because if I look in the actual project at the DAG, oh, I'm already looking at it. So the way the current DAG works, let me actually do this. Better visual for the YouTube. So currently, every time dbt runs, it should, this damn broken pipes. This is why we need a URL. It should run source freshness, and then it'll do a dbt run, and then it'll do dbt test. So the source freshness is nice because it can like say, hey, this is out of date, or warn you that it's getting out of date. It's not great when there's some models that just genuinely aren't updated, and you have like a 24-hour out of date thing, and it's like, well, no new data actually exists. So there's some false positives there. But what I've currently done with that job is source freshness. I'm just doing true because it was hanging and it was taking all of the Airflow resources. So we can simultaneously test the 14.2 upgrade and re-enable this job. But actually, I'm going to, instead of making a new issue in the infra, I'm going to move this to the infra, the data infra project. And then I'll open up an MR on this one.
Do we have so many separate projects just for permissioning, or what's the main reason for that?
I've talked to Thomas about this. I'm not a huge fan that we've moved the infra repo out. It was mainly for having like different CI jobs for actually building the Docker containers. I don't buy that it needs to necessarily be separate. Thomas has the same permissions on this project as he does on the main analytics one. I would like to see this project come back in to the main repo.
Makes sense. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So literally this we have like 3 images. There's the Airflow, there's a data, then there's just a DBT image. Thomas has more context on why he thought that was a better idea. I think it was just for size. But so I'm going to upgrade this one. And the nice thing about this is, so it's going to, part of the jobs, it will automatically make the Docker containers. And then what I can do in this MR is test those in the MR, which I'm very happy about. So I'll just use, oh no, I need to update the tag. All right, so we get rid of this. And I will test it. Should be pulling the latest one. So I know this command works. We have, oh, I need to make a separate issue to change that. So there's a separate target in DBT because this variable in the profile, you're not able to pass as a command line variable. So there's this client session keep alive. So there's long running queries for like snowplow transformations. I thought this was the problem with why that job kept hanging. And so I made this separate. I guess it kind of was the problem. No, it wasn't the problem. So I think I can get rid of this, but I'll do that in a separate issue. So anyways, keep this job here. And then I can actually look in the CI, CI.yaml. So these are all the jobs that are available to run in a merge request. One of the jobs that we have is the source freshness. And so it runs dbt source snapshot freshness. And so what I can do up here is I'll just update this image to pull from whichever one it's actually building. I can go look at the containers. And it's not done yet, but it should just be the branch name. So this is an, I'll revert this, not an actual revert, but I'll revert this change just for the purposes of testing the MR. So All right, so now that those commits are available in the merge request, I'll go back to the MR and trigger the analytics clone job so that the database is available for these jobs to run against. These ones that are running automatically, when you make any change to a Python file, it'll run MyPy, PyTest, Black for linting. But these aren't available if you're not changing anything to any Python files. So this takes a little bit, but we got to wait anyways because this job needs to finish.
I'm like really stoked to take advantage of these GitLab features, but also totally overwhelmed by it.
It's a lot to get used to. There's some really cool things, and I forget how much like stuff there is to build up because there's like all the hotkeys you can hit. There's all the keyboard shortcuts for doing things with your keyboard. There's a shift question mark. This up here, this is really cool. I should actually show this to, I think it's in our onboarding. But this is like the performance bar. So you can actually see, these are all of the queries that are run to load the data on this page, which is super helpful if you're trying to understand the GitLab.com database and what's actually happening. And then you can see like, yeah, you can just see everything that's happening. So I have this running all the time. Okay, cool. So the build is done. If I refresh this, we should have yep. So that's what it's called. And this is still going. Oh Lord, we've got 3 running simultaneously. We'll see how that goes. Alternatively, I think, do I want to do this locally? Yeah, let's do this locally. Okay, I can also, so we'll just let that run. So I'm going to check this out. I don't need that. Oh, please don't. I want this like bottom half. All right, here we go. Cool. So GitLab analytics. Let me just push this up real quick. Uh, 2, 4, 3, 5. All right. So now, let me make sure. Yes, cool. So we're good and happy there. So I'm going to first, I need to export the Git branch. Make note airflow. Oh, interesting. I guess these are the new updates. I might need to. I wonder if my DBT path profile path variable set.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all these sorts of environment stuff set up, and I have not figured it out yet. But I haven't had time to really spend on it since I learned the last things that I learned.
I think I should be okay here because this actually just, I'm not actually running DBT on this. Okay, so Airflow is running. I'm going to trigger a job locally, and it'll run in Kubernetes. Oh, but it's going to run, it wants to run against that warehouse anyways. This is fine. Okay, so this is like my local copy of, so I can turn this on. I think it should trigger. I'm just going to trigger. This is something that, like, it'd be nice if the analysts could do, but there's some bugs and stuff with it yet, because I still sometimes have to like pop into the GCP admin area to kill a node or something. But yeah, I don't have to fully wait for this to finish running because I'm worried it won't. With 3 simultaneous clone jobs running on the same box. Oh no, it did. Okay. Yeah, they're taking longer and longer. I think Thomas has that open issue to think about smarter ways to clone. Curious. So it took 11 minutes for raw. It's analytics, analytics. So we may be here for a while. This is one of those changes where my patience gets the better of me. I've been running 14.2 locally for a week, and it's been totally fine. Let's see what's actually running here. What are you doing, Airflow? Oh, see, yeah, it decided to spin up too. I'm like, about Airflow. It's it works well. It's fine. It just could be such a better user experience. Oh, it actually is working. Boom, here we go. Oh no, it's not working. It's erroring out because it's not going to be able to find the database.
Oh man.
But that's fine because I don't care that it, like, I don't care about the data for this instance. I just want to make sure it's. Oh, and now that I'm thinking of it, we actually cloned the raw database because it's actually looking for the branch name raw, and that won't exist. But this tells me enough that the job works. Airflow is happy, and so we can call that done. So I'm actually, I'll just let that. Should I let that finish? I'll just kill it. All right, so resolve work in progress. So we're happy with this. So I'm going to merge that change. It should automatically build the latest version of each container. Yep, that's what it's doing here. I need to revert back that one change. Oh, here, that's right. So that's done. Before I forget, I need to make an issue to remove docs user from the profiles. You're unmuted, in case you don't know.
I'm unmuted, so you can hear all my movements.
Shufflings.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Cool. So I'm happy with this. So I'll just set this to merge when pipeline succeeds. You ever see somebody say set to MWPS? That's what that means, merge when pipeline succeeds. Cool. So that's done. So that's going to close that issue. So we've done this. And we've set this to merge when pipeline succeeds. And I don't know if I actually want to do this one yet because it's going to make some conflicts. We'll come back to that. Yeah, I made this one real quick because our macros right now are kind of just all over the place. And we've started to have a little bit more discipline about breakpoint. And like in the tests folder, organized by source, model type, snapshots, we're doing the same thing. So I feel like all these macros are getting a little out of hand. But it should be fine. Yeah, because we've got UDFs there. Okay, I can do this. This is fine. Talk myself into it. Right. So let's see here. I like VS Code. I've switched recently from PyCharm. This feels like a little bit lighter and it's a little bit more fun to use. All right, so
Yeah, I'm using VS Code too. I'm also going to assume that since you're talking to yourself, well, I guess it's talking to me, but I'm going to assume that like that's not because of the pairing session, that that's just how you work, because my only observation. So it's my only way to figure it out.
I actually don't. Only when I'm really trying to rubber duck something do I talk to myself. But I'm literally just vocalizing what's going on in my head. So this is like a stream of consciousness, I think.
No, I appreciate it. I just thought I'd tease you a little bit about it.
All right, so this one, and this one can go Salesforce. Some of these are old. I'm not even sure this one's actually in use anymore, but it's another problem. So I want one called for logging. I want to make a utils one. So PDFs there. Churn type. This is for Zora. Case when Boolean int. It's a util to me. Please do not ask me again. Thank you. Let's make a product. Yeah, product categories. It's actually, that's fine. We'll do product. I think some of these are up for debate. Stage mapping. This is for product as well. Actually, I should name that pings. And then this one should be move you out for a second. I don't know how to think about that. So this is for pings. Pings. Stage mapping. Pings. Support SLA is Zendesk. This makes me feel like I should be a Twitch streamer now. Except that there might be some security risk streaming my warehouse all day.
I wonder if anyone does. I don't think anyone does anything like that.
There's definitely people that stream. I don't know about a GitLab, but I just know in general.
Like stream their development process?
Yeah. There's some fairly popular Twitch streamers, I think.
I had no idea. I've never actually gotten on Twitch, so that's probably the reason.
What would be the name for this? Warehouse. These are like warehouse common things. So granting, altering. I'll call them. Just call it warehouse. That's fine. We can iterate. This. It's my. If I'm unsure, I just make a decision, and my failsafe is, oh, we can iterate.
I've already caught myself doing that, and I'm like actually kind of like it.
It's a bias towards action and results. Is project included in engineering metrics? This is very specific. Some of these are very specific to different business units. They don't necessarily map to the data models. That's fine. Action type. So this is GitLab.com. Generate. Get internal parent namespace. That's GitLab.com. And then finally, product category. I really think this is Zora, but I'm not sure where it is. Let's just do. No, Lord. Slide macro. Yes, it is used in Zora. That's right. Okay. Cool. Okay. I sometimes use this is Sublime Merge, which is a nice little tool for like seeing what's like visually seeing what your local changes are. You can view the history for different branches and things like that. Reorg. Macros. All right, so I'll push that up. I'm going to, instead of waiting for branches to run, I'm just going to run something locally. Because if we can find there's a bunch of, so if you look at the dbt project.yaml, there's a ton of macros that get called in here. So if this works, then everything should work. I'm just going to do dbt run. Let's do see if this actually. Nice. So this actually merged, so that is done. Oh, helps if I stage all the files. Yikes. Yikes. I just staged all the deletions.
That's a gotcha.
Yeah. That's why we have diffs.
I feel like directory changes are like the most. I have the hardest time keeping track of all that stuff in my head relative to other kinds of changes.
Yeah, and I feel like we're not doing a great job with showing those diffs because it'll show like a file being deleted, and sometimes it doesn't properly match the name. This seems to have worked fine because the names are all good. Oh, interesting. This README got moved accidentally because this README is for the UDFs. Nice. I just want to stage working directory and untracked. Move README back. Let's check on this. So this was very happy. It ran all the macros, so I am fine. Somebody was sending this MR to me, I would hold a little bit higher standard, but I will document it briefly what I changed here. Hopefully logically. Send me, set to delete. Looks good. Double check once more. Make sure I really didn't mess anything up. Yeah, looks good. I think ideally I think we should have, hold the phone, what is happening? Where's my UDFs? See this? Am I going crazy? It's not showing in the diff properly. That's really weird. But locally I have regex and this one. See, something ain't right. I think we struggle with directory changes. This is really interesting. It's like it doesn't see those. But it's in Git history. Is it not?
I've got no good advice. Also, I think I'm going to jump off and go to this key review.
Cool.
But yeah, this has been great. I got some good notes, and it's been really helpful, at least for me. I hope I can pay it back somehow. So
Yeah, I'm gonna solve this problem, and then I'll upload it to YouTube for all the world to see.
sounds awesome. All right, thanks, man.
All right, see you, Justin. All right, what's going on here? Oh, actually, let me just do both of them since they're not showing up. This is really weird. And it's just the README is not being there. All right, well, I'm gonna figure this out later. Thanks for watching.